Alright, so Barry Allen may be constantly calling himself the fastest man alive, but as we've seen for 3 seasons now, there's always some villain out there somewhere who's way better than him for about an entire season. Case in point, the Earth 2 supervillain known as Zoom, a black-clad speedster who handily destroyed Barry almost every single time they fought each other throughout Season 2, opened dimensional breaches between Earth 1 and Earth 2 with pure speed alone, and was so fast he could slaughter an entire room full of people and make it back to his starting point before any of those people hit the floor. But just how fast was he before his defeat and his transformation into the Black Flash at the end of Season 2? Well, let's find out. First off, like always, we need to get a base speed stat to start with, and a pretty good one is the classic speedster trick of making a speed mirage. I know, we never actually saw Zoom do the speed mirage trick, and there is a bunch of confusion about what he said in Season 2, Episode 18.
We saw you die.
You did?
So what was that? Speed mirage?
No. Even I'm not that fast.
But Zoom can make a speed mirage. He only meant that he wasn't fast enough to make a speed mirage across 2 different Earths, not that he wasn't fast enough to make one at all. So since we know he can, let's do the math and figure out how fast Zoom or any speedster would have to go to make one. Now you see, the human eye doesn't process a single unbroken stream of visual information, but rather breaks it up into a bunch of different images that you see per second. Each image has to be seen and processed so fast that it tricks your brain into blurring all of those images together in order to create the moving image our brains end up perceiving. Think about it like those pre-film era toys where they have a bunch of still images on the inside of the wheel, but if you crank it fast enough, it looks like it's a single moving picture. In order to create a speed mirage, Zoom, or any speedster, would have to be in 2 different places fast enough for the human eye to be unable to notice the differences in the frames per second. Because the previous speed mirages we've seen in the show have looked pretty realistic, let's assume that a speedster has to be in both of the places they're making in the mirage at a bare minimum of 60 times per second. I think 60 is a pretty good number because it's high enough for untrained humans to properly notice clear and clean details, while at the same time not being low enough for the image to appear choppy or unnatural. It's right in that sweet spot. Therefore, if Zoom was making a speed mirage about a meter away from his starting position, and he had to be there 60 times a second in order to trick your brain into believing his speed mirage, he would be moving at a nice and easy 60 meters per second, or about 134.216 miles per hour, or about 215.9 kilometers an hour. Keep in mind that this number can be increased or decreased depending on how far he's actually traveling in order to make the speed mirage. We also find out by the end of the 2nd season that he outclassed and captured the speedster Jay Garrick for the purposes of stealing his speed, later locking him up in a cell on Earth 2 when it turned out Jay's speed wouldn't help with his dying cells. We don't have a lot of feats to base Jay's speed off of at this point in time, but we do know that he casually outran and caught every bullet from a classic Tommy gun fired at him by his world's trickster in the Season 3 episode The Present. Those guns have a muzzle velocity of about 637.527 miles per hour, or about 1,026 kilometers an hour, meaning Jay would have to run at least as fast as that in order to catch the bullets from the gun, and Zoom would therefore have to go even faster than Jay in order to beat him. In episode 6, titled Enter Zoom, we see Zoom catching bullets fired at him from 11 different cops, all using the Beretta 92 FS, according to the Internet Movie Firearms database. Now that gun has a muzzle velocity of about 852.27 miles an hour, or about 1,371 kilometers an hour, meaning Zoom would have to move at least that fast to catch a bullet from those guns as it's being fired. Since Zoom's faster than Barry, it's a safe bet to assume that he can also travel through time, which, as I calculated in my last video, means he's able to go at least 900 miles an hour, or about 1,448.41 kilometers an hour. Alright, so skipping over a little bit to the episode Legends of Today, Earth 2 Harry mentions to Barry that Zoom is at least 3 to 4 times faster than him at that point in time.
Zoom is at least 3-4 times faster than you at this point.
Now, in my Flash top speed video, I'll admit I made a little bit of a mistake here. In that video, I made the claim that Zoom was 3 to 4 times faster than the speed shown just before that clip, which was shown after Barry's first trip through time, and as a result gave Zoom a minimum top speed of 2,700 miles an hour, which was obviously wrong since Barry got way faster after he first traveled through time, and Zoom would be even faster by comparison. What I should have done was multiply that 3 to 4 times statement with Barry's actual top speed from season 1, 1,590 miles an hour, which was what Harry and Caitlin were most likely referring to, since Barry claims not to have gotten any faster than just before Harry started talking.
I'm not getting faster, am I?
Well, well...
No, you're not.
Doing the math gives us an estimated speed of 6,360 miles an hour, or about 10,235.43 kilometers an hour, giving us a final confirmed top speed of Mach 8.2. Keep in mind two things though. First off, what I just calculated in this video is Zoom's top speed after his constant abuse of the Velocity 9 serum. It's obvious that his natural speed should be lower than Mach 8.2, but until I know for sure how much of a boost the Velocity serums give you, there really isn't a way to tell you what his natural top speed is/was. Second, there's this whole misconception about the idea of stealing speed that needs to be cleared up here. Removing the speed force from Barry and injecting Zoom with it does not add to Zoom's overall speed. At no point during any of the episodes after Season 2, Episode 18, does anyone say anything about Zoom being faster because of his stealing Barry's speed. Seriously, go back and watch it again. Check it out for yourselves. To me, the best explanation for what happens when Zoom is injected with Barry's speed is that the fresh source of speed force energy from Barry simply replaces Zoom's damaged cells and makes him healthy again. That's it. Nothing more to it than that. That having been said, Zoom being able to go Mach 8.2 is pretty impressive, especially considering that Barry, the hero of the show and the self-titled fastest man alive, was going less than Mach 3 when the two first met each other. And now that he's the Black Flash and will be popping up sooner or later on a few of the other CW superhero shows, it's very likely that we'll see him get even faster, maybe even to the point where he outclasses every other speedster in the Arrowverse. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.